Hello everyone, I'm Sofi. I'm currently at Gercara Forest Retreat, Bentong, Malaysia. And today I'll be sharing on the Refuge vow of refraining from idle chatter or gossip. Yesterday I have shared on divisive speech, and before that it was lying. So today is the next destructive action of speech, which is idle chatter. Just the need to say something meaningless. Idle chatter is actually pointless talk, speech that lacks purpose or depth. Such a speech communicates nothing of value. And idle chatter is often just to fill the silence, or fending off nervousness, impressing people, or keeping the subject focused on ourselves. And gossip, well, usually it carries a negative connotation of speaking bad of others, usually with the bad intent to put the other person down or to spread negative thoughts of another person. And everything that we say out loud has a very powerful influence on our own thinking, because all the chatter, whatever speech that we have, it comes from our own thoughts. So if we were to continue indulging in idle chatter or gossip, then we're actually reinforcing the negative pattern of our mind or behavior. So everything we say out loud, it has an influence on our mind as well. And like everything that we say, it's like a ripple in the pond. Whatever that the start of the ripple, where we start the chatter or the gossip, then it will just ripple out, and it will spread. Because as you know, the power of words, that's what they say, by the word of mouth. So that is why a lot of times when we or we talk about negative things, we may just be like chatting with a friend or something, and then from that friend it could be chatting with another friend, and then it's so forth, and so the whatever that we talk about, it could spread to further and further. And the thing is, oftentimes our memory is not that good, so whatever we chat about, it may just go out of context, or it just be depending on that person's perception or something. Then it from the start to the end, it could entirely different thing could have been talked about. So, but the thing is, for this, as I said, by the word of mouth, there is some good that that has been utilized by the commercial industry. So this is multi-level marketing. That is how they use the idle chatter or gossip, to promote their stuff. Like the householders, they'll be having their party and all that to promote their products, such as Amway or Causeway or even Tupperware. All this, I guess in that sense, it's like actually it's kind of reinforcing a positive reinforcement of idle chatter or gossip. It's like a reward, for it. Anyway, when whatever we say, actually we should really examine, the nature of our speech, so that we know, or not, we are more aware whether it's idle chatter, in a negative sense or not. So this one is a practice of mindfulness, and we need to examine whether we sincerely enjoy the conversation or social connection, or are we letting our mouth just talk without paying any attention to the topic that we're covering, or the effects of our speech that is having on other, on the person that you're talking to, or how long we've been going on for, whether our speech is appropriate or not to the circumstances. So because whatever we say will make an impression in the other person's mind, and as such, if you're saying something negative, then it may cause harm to other people. Now, especially, when maybe someone who is famous, or with who has developed a reputation, a good reputation for themselves, and due to maybe some jealousy or some anger or some negative intention, the idle chatter or through slander, then words could go out, and there are people who would believe in those words, whether it's true or not, and as it spread, it will hurt that reputation of that person. And as you know, reputation takes such a long time to build up, and once it's gone, it's going to be very hard to rebuild again. Even if the people who has said it, go back to say that, oh no, this is not true, but already in people's impression, it's been set, so it's very difficult to rebuild. And so as such, it's always good that we do not indulge in idle chatter or gossip, and we always examine and be mindful of our speech, what we say, and make it powerful in the sense that whatever we say will be helpful to the other party. And if you do have time and you feel like talking, chant some mantra. That will be the best, especially since we've have a lot of karma, then we could always recite the 100-syllable Rajasattva mantra. It will purify our speech, and that is very good. So you can actually also dedicate to other people, and just work towards telling the truth and speaking kindly to others. Be gracious and use harmonious words that it will benefit other people and make them happier, rather than just gossiping about things that will be harmful to others. So always remember that the power of speech is very great, that it could actually move a nation to war, just like what Adolf Hitler did. And you see, the Second World War started, just by his speech, and just use it, to unite people. So as such, don't indulge in idle chatter. And I'll leave my sharing today here. So if there's any questions. Okay, from Joy Kam. Have you ever tried refraining from idle chatter? What did you do and did it work? Why and why not? What can you do to help yourself stop idle chatter? Okay. Well, basically, if you want to stop idle chatter, you really have to be mindful of what you are having just to talk needlessly, and the content that you talk about, that one you have to examine, whether it's necessary or not. Often, I do indulge in it, so it's still a practice that I need to really do. And just practice of mindfulness at the moment, I have a long way to go, but there is something that actually Buddhists do. Sometimes they do practice, as in silent retreat. So when you are silent, and because of that, you need to focus to be, keep quiet, because sometimes we just open our mouth and we start talking. So when you have that retreat, you have to focus, you know, on being quiet, and also at the same time you'll be able to focus, you know, like the things that you have said, or whether is it necessary or not. So that will be a very good one, that to control idle chatter or gossip, because then all the more you will realize, you know, a lot of things that we say is not necessary. From Yi Yin Teo, how do you know if a speech has the value or not? This one you would know that whether it benefits the other person or not, whether it's necessary. Like let's say if it's in terms of work, you know, does it relate to your work, that you can use it for your, you know, I mean, like to carry out instructions. And let's say if you or maybe like if your guru, you know, asks about someone and how are they, then maybe you this would not constitute as idle chatter, because then you know that the guru will be able to help that person. So basically it's an person, when you're talking to a person who are able to help, then that one you can constitute it as not idle chatter. It's only things that is of no value, that that will not benefit any other person, that will be idle chatter. From Yi Yin Teo, what is better, harsh word that can benefit someone, or beautiful words that can make people happy? Of course, we always have that intention or motivation to benefit others. So in terms of using harsh word, it may be sounding harsh, but the intent is to benefit that person, to maybe use the harsh method to wake up that person. So of course that one would be good. Whereas beautiful words, you're trying to make that person happy, and if it does not benefit, then it's just words that's not used, you know, to its potential. Doesn't carry any, you know, weight. So from Pastor Shin, does it mean that one of the activities that Malaysians do, which is hanging out at mamak stalls, is idle chatter? How do we stop ourselves from idle chatter? Yes, that is a Malaysian trait. We like to go for supper, you know, hang around, talk all sorts of nonsense, you know, from politics, you know, to people's lives, to, you know, all sorts of things, football and stuff like that, you know. So basically, actually, those are indulgence in idle chatter, because it does not really bring any benefit other than to just fill the moment, you know, and have that companionship. But at the end of it, you know, I mean, those chatter, it's just like something that you talk and it's gone, you know. It doesn't do anything much. Right, from Pastor Adeline, how do one catch themselves when they like to talk and have the urge and need to use speech always? So okay, always like to talk. This one is actually a little bit difficult, because you know what, that is why, you know, every time we talk, it kind of reinforces that habit, you see. So it becomes very habitual, you know, that a person talks. Sometimes there's no need to talk at all, they just find something to say, you know, and just to fill in the time, you know, that gap. And this, I think oftentimes you will need another person to point that out to them, and to really make them realize, you know, what is happening, and also an effort from that person itself, that they need to be mindful of their thoughts as well, because all this stems from the thoughts, and just use it for something useful. Don't just waste the words that comes out from it. Other than that, I can't think of anything. So if I do come across a solution for that, I will share it here. Hey, hi Tony, how are you? Okay, is there any more questions? Hey Tony, say hi to Sonia for me, okay? And to okay, I don't see any questions here. So I'll just end the session here today. Thank you. Now I say a completion dedication in Tibetan. Janjo Simcho Rinpoche, Maki Panam Gyushi, Kipanam Pame Payang, Gone Gonde Pewasho, Tony Towa Rinpoche, Maki Panam Gyushi, Kipanam Pame Payang, Gone Gonde Pewasho, Dasojini Sapagi Wadi, Tandandro Wagunagam Padang, Jepa Jesuno Santrapai, Tamping in Porindusa, Se Sho, Kewa Kuntu Yandala Madan, Drami Joki Pala no Joki, Sadambangi Yote Razoni, Doje Changi Opangotoso, Gewadi Yoda, Lama Sang Yodrione, Drewa Chikama. Lupa de sala gopasho joki kya posungkapa josu nampa pewala geki sama siwadang tungki malu sawasho dadam sungi dusundan drewa songi latini gewa losandra pai tampa yureva gyushi ni modele sendele ni megunyan dele shi ni sintatu dele pel kunju sungi jingilo kunju sungi ngotuso kunju sungi trasi sho jesu nama kusen ratingchi nam katrini jojo ke bada Wasam tempe dro me sapsungi dro e mun sa tatu ni gyushi gawe rawe kowe shingamne pendan dewa mali gyowe ni chenen zik wan tenzin get soi shape shi de baru den gyushi Kum tomping otro malupa den de dala sal du so koran den pa long chot nam ke pa so shik shuk den sal. Thank you for joining me, and tomorrow I have a very interesting topic, so do join me. Thank you.